Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for an all new episode recap of today's Days of Our Lives, March 4th, 2025. So we start off with Stephanie and Sarah. Stephanie's there to really do some publicist work in order to really help with the hospital's bankruptcy situation. So Sarah feels bad that this is happening and she worries about the patients and, the people that work there and their jobs. But she said fortunately for her, her husband would step in if she loses her job and he would take care of her. But of course, she wants to, be a working woman. She went through medical school, so she really is not fond of the idea, but she gets it because, Xander would do anything to take care of her. So she said that, she touched on the whole thing about the CEO and the co-CEO thing. And Stephanie asked her how that's going. And she said it's going really well. And it's, it worked out for the greater good. So she said, are you sure about that? Because do you think that is gonna not backfire in you at some point? So she said, no, I don't think so. And honestly, knowing Xander, he can definitely not know how to control himself when it comes on to having that much power. So I think this is a better situation. And, Stephanie was also mentioning Philip and having power. And she said, yeah, they can both be ruthless. They got that from their father, but them working together has been really good. And, Stephanie said, I hope that is working out because now I'm with Alex and I really hate keeping that secret from him. I don't want it to really, backfire on the both of us. So she said that she's not going to tell the secret at all. She has nothing to do with Philip. They're not together, so he can do his line and scheming wherever, but she just hoped that it all works out for the good. Speaking of Xander and Philip, so they are trying to take down Demira and they have to go through some, plan some strategic moves. So Xander tells Philip that, he has a very important shareholder coming through for a meeting with them. So this shareholder is Wei Shen. So, Wei Shen has connections to the Demira board. He's on the board himself as chairman. So he said, to what do I owe the pleasure of, being flown on a jet here? What's going on? So, Xander pitched the idea of him coming over to Titan and, actually merging the companies, right? So Wei has a lot of issues with that because, he's loyal to Demira and he doesn't feel comfortable going behind Kristen's back and, Xander makes a pretty good case about how they have not really been loyal to him. EJ, when EJ was DA, he sat on evidence that could have prosecuted Lee's killer. And, they really didn't do him any good when it came down to, Lee's death and all that. So, of course, that made him really think about it like, hey, am I really giving the wrong company my loyalty? So, he was hesitant at first against it. And then he was concerned about the whole thing with Philip and Xander working together because at this point he doesn't know what to believe, who's really in charge because of, Victor's supposed letter and will, contradicting themselves. So Xander said, you make a very good point, but me and Philip, put our differences aside and we're working together. Can you say that about Demira? They have so much scandals going on. EJ and Kristen are both facing, federal charges, So do you think that they have a strong leadership? And what if Kristen goes down? The next person waiting is not far from her. So do you think that you're supporting the right company? So at some point he gives in and he said, you know what? You make a very good case. I need that all in writing because they promised him a powerful position. He's still being charged with the mayor proceedings, but the company will be in their ownership, right? So he said, he wants it in writing and he will stay in touch. He has to go through with some associates. So they're, happy about how it went and congratulated each other. I mean, this is looking really good if, Philip didn't lie and scheme about this whole letter thing, right? But I like how they're working together. Too bad it's gonna go crashing down. So Alex goes to the pub, I guess, to collect some lunch for him and Stephanie, and he runs into Joy. Of course, it's a little bit awkward, and he said, Joy, it's been a while since I see you. And she said, yeah, last time I saw you, you broke up with me to be back with Stephanie. So he said, about that, I'm really sorry about how things went. I should have been more upfront about my feelings and, us and all of that. And she said, don't worry, it's water under the bridge. Like, it was just a fling. It's nothing that deep. And he said, you're giving me a lot more grace than I deserve. And she said, it is what it is, right? So anyways, she wished him and Stephanie the best, and he wishes her the best. And they start talking about jobs as well, because Alex said, she told Alex that they recast the roles. So Alex is surprised about that, but he understood what it is, and she understood because she gave them a long time to think, and they couldn't wait no longer, and the show must go on. So he was asking her about the food, and she said that she doesn't really have much appetite. So they wish each other the best, and he leaves, and she's tried to eat because there's a lot of food and she's not working, and she started feeling sick and wanted to throw up. So at this point, we already know where this is going, right? So Alex goes over to Stephanie's place. They're having lunch, and he tells her about the awkward running with Joy and said that it went better than expected, and she wishes them the best. And she said, I'm happy to hear that, because I really felt bad about how things went. And he said, if she's putting it behind her, we should really put that situation behind. And he learned that Body and Soul recast his role, so she's sorry to hear that. And he said, I just feel like I don't have no direction, nowhere to go, or no fallback plan. I just said, why not go back to Titan, right? You liked working there last year, try it out, right? So she got a message from her mom, I guess, to go over some of the paperwork or something for the hospital plan. So she said that she had to deal with that in person because her mom wouldn't be able to do it, over the phone. So she goes along, and that's that. So Philip is in the square. He got some pastries from Sweet Bit, and he sees Joy, and he offers her a cookie, and he's saying that I bought these for my CFO, but I just wanted to give you as a peace offer. So she said, I'm not interested. So I said, I know that we're not on good terms after what happened with me and your sister Chloe, but I want us to move past it, and I known you since you were a kid, and whatever you need, I'm here for you. So she said, actually, I do need your help on something. So is there any job openings at Titan? So that was it with them. So this is gonna be a mess, right? With if Alex is going to Titan and she's going to Titan. But let me tell you why it's gonna be a mess in a bit. So Marlena is looking at the picture of John, and she's just worried about him. She misses him dearly. And, Kat comes in. So Kat tells her about a patient that canceled, and, scheduling problems and all that. So she said just, reschedule and all that. So she went out to do that because she was offering to get Marlena some lunch, but Marlena said that she just grabbed something at the cafeteria. So before Kat could leave, she asked Kat about how the meeting with Chad went. So she said it went really well, and they brainstormed ideas for the fundraiser. It's a little bit awkward, but they got through it. So anyways, she said that she had a meeting with Chad to discuss further about the fundraiser, and she went out. At this time, Marlena was on the phone with Shane, asking where John could be. At this point, she doesn't know where John's whereabouts is, and now she's just frantic. She's worried, like, where could it be? So she's upset. So Kat comes back, and she says, like, I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but what is going on? So she said that John is MIA, and at this point his handler doesn't know where he is. This could be two things, like he could have went rogue, or another thing, like something could have badly happened, and I'm just really worried about him, right? So Kat leaves at some point, and she has a flashback of her and John back in the day, a little montage where they're together again after so long. And she said, our love always reunited us. And it's just bittersweet because we know that it's coming up to that point where they have to do this farewell scene for John, and it's definitely gonna be not a dry eye in the house. So Chad and Leo at the office. Well, Chad is on the phone, I guess, handling some business, and Leo comes in with a pitch about the next report, right? So his idea is to do a report on the Mira family, what's really going on with them recently, EJ and Kristen's cases and Rachel's kidnapping. So Chad is hesitant about it, and he's saying, I really don't want to have a piece on my family, and I don't like how that's looking at, Leo is saying that it will definitely give a lot of press and we should go forward with it. So at some point, Chad gives in, and Chad says, I have a few conditions. I do not want my niece, Rachel, to be involved in that. She's a minor. I do not want that. And I need you to fact check. I need you to triple fact check and do your proper sourcing and all of that and make sure that everything is crossed off, right? Because my brother EJ is a lawyer, and I don't want it backfiring on us at all. So Leo understands what he needs to do and what standards he needs to adhere by, and he just thanks Chad again for the opportunity and all that, right? So he does have some other story ideas to tell him, but he said he has not the time because Kat is supposed to come over for a meeting. So Leo is saying, the same lady that posed as your dead wife, like, why would you have a meeting with her? And he said, not that it's enough for business, but this is about hospital and the fundraiser. And Leo said, how cute, like, I can't believe she, moved from a grifter to a philanthropist overnight. So Chad is saying, listen, do not be judgmental. It's like the pot calling the kettle black. Like, don't do that. And he said, like, you got a point, but I just don't want her to hurt you. And she said, I'm not gonna get hurt. Like, we understand what it is. She doesn't have feelings for me, and I don't either. And Leo said, you doesn't really sound really thrilled. So I said, no, I don't have no feelings. And we all know when Chad starts to mumble, he does not mean what he say, right? He always has something to hide, and we all know he has a little residual feelings for her too, but he's just trying to put up a front. She did come over there, and she actually tells him that Marlena is going through a lot with her husband being missing, and she's wondering if Chad could help, seeing that he has a good friendship with her. So Alex takes Stephanie's advice and goes over to Xander, right? So Xander was on the phone talking about the Wei Shin's departure and all that, making sure that it went smoothly. So Alex comes in and he said, like, your father is not here. So I said, I'm not here to see him. I'm here to see you. I would like to, come back to work at Titan. So that was where the conversation ended. But if Joy gets a job and he gets a job, that's how it's going to be messy, right? And I'm going to tell you guys, I know I told you guys, I'm going to tell you how it's going to be even messier, right? So Joy comes into the hospital. She sees Sarah, and Sarah saying, Joy, how can I help? What's going on? So Joy tells her that she is feeling nauseous, and she thinks that she's coming down with something. And Sarah said, Joy asked if it could be related to the whole poisoning, and Sarah said, no, that happened so long ago. I don't think it is. It could be stomach flu. And Joy said, maybe it's morning sickness. I hope I'm not pregnant and all that. So Sarah said, let's rule it out, right? So they go into examination room and they come out, and Joy is anxious because she really wants to know whether or not she's pregnant. So she's hoping that it's negative. So Sarah says, we just have to just see what happens and wait on the test results, and don't worry, I'm here for you. Regardless of what happens, you have the choice, right? So she assures her that everything will be okay. So she leaves. And little moments later, she's on the phone with somebody saying to put a rush on the blood test for Joy Wesley. At this point, Stephanie comes back in because remember, she's going to see her mom about something. So she comes in at the point where Sarah says, put a rush on the blood test results for Joy Wesley's pregnancy test. So at this point, Stephanie, goes into a corner and said, like, Joy? So I don't know if this all comes back positive. what is Stephanie going to do? Is Stephanie going to not tell Alex what's going on? Is she not going to be transparent as he was with her earlier? Is she going to force something? Like, if she really does that, there's no going back. But let's stay tuned to what's going to happen, folks. So that is it, guys. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel. Comment below on your thoughts of today's episode. I will see you guys tomorrow.